I don't even know how to really talk about this movie, honestly, because it's like a lot of it is really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But ridiculous in like the best way. And it really like Nicolas Cage, you know, like give him credit because he really embraced like the memes of himself.
What the hell are we supposed to use, man? Harsh language?
Nicolas Cage, he's back. But did
Not that he ever
leave?
left.
Yeah. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, Nicolas Cage's new movie. Writer-director Tom Gormican has done this one. And, you know, he's only done one other movie that I actually like. It's a rom-com called That Awkward Moment with
I had not seen it.
Did you end up watching it?
I watched it today because I wanted to.
Did you like it?
Was all about. Yes, it's good. Yeah.
It's that
not
movie's
the greatest rom-com, but
no, not at all. But that's got Imogen Poots from
yes,
that show we watched.
Yes.
No shit. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It's got Miles Teller, Zac Efron, Michael B. Jordan. Yeah, there you
Michael
go.
B. Yeah.
So it's like a pretty standard rom-com, but it's one that I've always like kind of liked. So it's cool to see him doing something else. Nicolas Cage has a very I don't even know the word to call it, but like most people when they talk about Nicolas Cage movies, it's not in a very good light. He's usually memed out the ass because of some of his roles, some of his overacting.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Huh?
But this movie right here, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, takes pretty much every Nicolas Cage meme you've ever heard of and sort of puts it into one movie. So this movie in here, Nicolas Cage plays himself, and he plays a version of himself where he's in the twilight of his career, you could say. And, he's desperately seeking that one last role that's really going to fulfill him. He wants like the role of a lifetime. And it's funny because early in the movie, he's meeting with David Gordon Green, the director, and he like does this like impromptu table read like in front of his face.
What's the worry here, Nick? You've lost some of your talent as an actor?
No. What did he say?
He says he loves you, but he went in a different direction.
I'm done. I'm quitting acting.
I don't even know how to really talk about this movie, honestly, because it's like a lot of it is really ridiculous.
Yeah.
But ridiculous in like the best way. And it really like Nicolas Cage, like give him credit because he really embraced like the memes of himself to do this role. I actually read the other day that he turned down this role like 4 times before accepting it. So I don't know if that had anything to do with the fact that like, he didn't want to play himself or if there was any truth into like the plot. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, he actually gets 2 credits in the film. He is Nicolas Cage as Nicolas Cage, and the person in his head that he's talking to, Nicky, is credited as Nicholas Coppola.
That's like his
real name.
Yeah, that's like his subconscious like hype man. Yeah. And one of the funniest parts of the movie in terms of like that like Nicolas Cage overacting and yelling and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
making
so
out with himself.
Oh, that was
Let everybody know Nicolas Cage could smooch. Smooch good, I think is what he says. So fucking funny.
Tell the trades, it was a tremendous honor to be a part of storytelling and myth-making.
Ah, fuck, man, I'm driving through the hills. I'm sorry, one more time?
But, yeah, so we also got Pedro Pascal starring alongside Nicolas Cage, who their chemistry in this movie is so fucking good, but we'll get into that in a bit. We got the comedian Tiffany Haddish, Sharon Horgan, and Neil Patrick Harris, who plays Nicolas Cage's agent, and Lily Mo Sheen, who plays his daughter. She's the real-life daughter of Kate Beckinsale. Dusty pointed that out while we were watching, and then now I can't unsee Kate Beckinsale's face.
Kate Beckinsale and Michael Sheen, who
Yeah.
were in Underworld together. Yeah.
Right. So so really the plot of this movie, as I said, Nicolas Cage is he's playing himself. He's like at the in the twilight of his career. He gets turned down for the role that he wanted in the David Gordon Green movie, and he decides to quit acting. Well, at the same time, he has been given a potential job offer from his agent to go to like some rich dude's party in Spain. And initially he turns it down. He's like, I'm above that. And once he gets turned down for this David Gordon Green movie, he decides to take the role. And it turns out that the party is the party of none other than Pedro Pascal's character Javi. And we quickly find out that Javi is allegedly the head of a notorious, I guess, cartel. We've been talking about cartels a lot lately.
I think it was more like arms.
Yeah, he was like an arms dealer. Yeah.
Welcome to Mallorca, Mr. Cage.
The guy that owns this house, what's his name?
Javi.
Is Javi gonna want me to,
I am Javi.
Nic Cage.
So the CIA is like, yo, you're like embedded with this dude. We need you to help us. It's for national security or whatever. And
Right.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah, Tiffany
Our
Haddish.
favorite Scientologist. Yep.
I have no idea who she is. Like, I've always heard her name, but like you guys were talking about her, like she's like super famous.
She is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's pretty much the plot of the film. You get, the CIA is sort of like getting Nicolas Cage to like be an undercover, be a double agent of sorts. But at the same time, which is really the core of the movie, Nicolas Cage is developing a very strong bromance with
The bromance was amazing.
Pedro Pascal. And I was alluding to that. Their chemistry is so fucking funny. Like, Pedro Pascal is so good. He's such a good actor. I love him so much.
I actually didn't know he was so good. I mean, I saw him in, I think, Game of Thrones.
God, this place is stunning.
What is your favorite movie?
That's one of those questions that's impossible to answer. You can't just limit it to one.
Imagine me and you, I do.
Is it too much?
Is this supposed to be me? It's grotesque. I'll give you 20,000 for it.
It was for me. I don't know. I don't know how I couldn't really get into it. It was funny. There were some funny parts. I usually take a lot of notes, but I wasn't really compelled to take any notes during this movie. But yeah, I don't know.
So like, what do you think it was? Do you think it was because the movie's very like meta. It's like a very meta movie.
Yeah, I wasn't really up to speed on a lot of the memes either, probably.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Well, really, the only meme was like his mannerisms, because have you ever seen the "Not the Bees" meme, Marvin?
No. I know you guys referenced it. I know, but I don't.
Well, so he was in this really, really, really bad horror movie, which is a remake of another horror movie called Wicker Man. And there's a scene where he gets put into like this fucking cage with bees, and he literally goes,
like
"Not the bees!"
Yeah, it's like a bee suit, but the bees are inside of it.
Because that's like an example of why Nicolas Cage gets so much criticism in his career, is because he's like a notorious overactor. I think. I mean, I think that's probably the case. So that's why like his Nicky, like subconscious character was so funny, because it like embraced that meme of Nicolas Cage overacting and being like a wild person. Like in a lot of his movies, he like yells and shouts and like does these like really like outrageous types of mannerisms.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that in some Nicolas Cage movies, so that makes sense. I just thought it was funny. I didn't think it was like bad or anything when I saw it, but I can see how it could be seen as bad, I guess.
I didn't know that was a cliff. We could have died.
This movie's got really, I think, just about everything you could want in a movie, honestly. I loved it personally. I think it's actually probably my second favorite movie that I've seen this year.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and I've watched it twice. I watched it once with you guys, and then I watched it with another one of my friends. And
wow.
And she's actually an actor, and the movie had like a whole different like it hit with her like way differently because of that. Like she's very familiar with like the Hollywood
right.
landscape and
Yeah.
like what it is to be an actor and like struggling with like creativity versus like getting work and all this stuff. So it was actually really interesting hearing about it from her perspective as well. But she also really enjoyed it. But yeah, I thought this movie was fantastic. It's got like everything you could want, really, I think, in a movie. Like it's funny. There's like drama moments that like legitimately made me tear up.
Really? Which moments?
Well, particularly with his like with his family, because part of the plot of the movie is that he's sort of portrayed as like a selfish father.
That's true, yeah.
And a selfish husband. There's several scenes where his daughter, where you understand that like, you know, they don't really spend any quality time together. Like they have when she was a kid, but now it's mostly like him trying to like nurture her into being him, essentially.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And when they watch movies together, it's the movies that he likes and this, that, and the other thing. But of course, the hero's journey is such that he realizes the error of his ways, and by the end of the movie, it's, you know, he realizes that he was wrong. And I thought that moment at the end was pretty touching because it was, you know, the movie ends with him and his ex-wife and his daughter sitting on the floor watching a movie together, and it was referenced way earlier in the film.
Watching Javi's favorite movie, yeah.
Well, also earlier than that, when his wife drives him home drunk, and he's like, "Do you remember when we used to sit on the floor of the New York apartment and just watch movies together?"
Right.
So I thought that was a cool moment. And then the movie ended with a song from one of my favorite artists. I mentioned it while we were watching, Warren Zevon. And
oh, that's right.
Yeah, the song is the last song on the last album that he ever put out, and he wrote it while he had terminal cancer, I think. So the song just had like a pretty emotional punch for me. And yeah, so like the movie just had a lot of that stuff. It had action, which is funny because like the plot of this, and this is also why I say the movie's meta. It's not just meta because it's like Nicolas Cage, but it's also meta because him and Javi are writing a script, which is pretty much what we're watching. Turns out that they adapt their experience into their movie that they were writing. So that part of it was really good, and you got some really fun action stuff. Like I said, the comedy is really funny, but I'm glad that Dusty ended up actually making me watch it. Not making me, but like he brought it up. It kind of fell off my radar. I remember when the trailer came out, I was kind of like, it's just, you know, it's Nicolas Cage. Like, do I really want to watch this? But I'm so glad that I did.
Yeah, I had kind of wrote it off as well for a while, but then I watched it. I have seen it twice too. So I sat down and I watched it, and I'm like, okay, I've seen a lot of Nicolas Cage, probably more than both of these guys, but maybe not Dan. I don't know. I've seen pretty much everything he's ever done, but some are good, some are bad. But when I sat down and watched this, like, holy shit, this is fucking amazing. Like, it makes fun of itself, but it doesn't. And it's, you know, the cast is great. Pedro Pascal, you know, his daughter, his wife, and obviously Neil Patrick Harris. But like Dan was saying, it's got good action, it's got good drama, it's got good heart. It was just a great all-around movie, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So when I told them, I'm like, we have to watch this, I sat down and we all sat down and watched it together, and that was a fun experience. I enjoyed it.
It was. I enjoyed watching it with you guys. I watched it once. I'll probably only ever watch it once, I think, to be honest. I don't see where I would have to watch it again. I don't think, do you guys think it's a movie where you can watch it again and like pick up on something that you missed the first time, or it's kind of just like pretty straightforward? Like,
only if you go back and watch some of his other movies that you have
look
seen.
for little, okay, that makes sense.
Most of the references again, Marvin, are like the personality of Nicolas Cage.
Got it.
Is what it was. So I don't think you going back, I don't think you'd like get a new appreciation for it. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, I don't think everybody would really like this movie. Cause it is like a strange film, kind of like it's almost ridiculous to a degree.
Yeah, I mean, most of the references are like mid-late 90s into the early 2000s when it was peak Nicolas Cage and he was being cast in everything and making a movie every year.
But yeah, so I don't really know what else really to say about this movie other than like I would highly recommend it. I think it's amazing. Like if you like movies, I think it's a great movie. If you like comedies, it's a great movie. If you like action, it's a great movie. And if you like Nicolas Cage, like it's a fucking no-brainer. So I would get this sitting on IMDb right now at a 7.2. I'm gonna give it a strong agree. I think I'm gonna give it a 7. 7's my rating. I'll probably watch it again very soon. Like I said, second favorite movie I've seen so far this year. Very close second to Everything Everywhere All at Once. Dusty?
Whoa, that's blasphemy.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7 too. This actually puts Tom Gormican on my radar. You know, when we talked, he hasn't really done anything. He did that Awkward Moment. He did Ghosted for a couple years, and then he did this. But as a writer and a director, he's relatively new. And so far, I've liked what I've seen. You know, I need to go back and watch Ghosted. But yeah, I give this a film a 7. It was great. I definitely recommend it.
Marvin, the moment everyone's been waiting for.
Coming in with the low blow.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a 5 for me.
Ooh, a 5. All right.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't want to kill you. You're the last person I want to kill. I love you. I love you. I'm Nic fucking.
What's up, people? Dan here. Just to remind you that if you enjoyed the video, to please go ahead and hit the like button. It really helps us out, and it lets us know that we're doing an okay job. If you want to be notified for more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, and if you're feeling extra spicy, hit that little bell button down below. Give it a little tickle.